The maturity of my mental growth in the past year and a half is inconceivable. It's impossible to show you visually, but I guess the closest representation to my mental growth is showing you through my physical growth. I think it's really relevant to show you guys this picture because it displays the impact of the power from mental health. If I was to show you every single part of my life that has improved, this video would take too long to render, color grade, and upload. My whole goal with self-development and mental health is to step out of the ordinary and to live an extraordinary life. My perception of ordinary now would have seemed extraordinary a year to a year and a half ago. I would not have believed that I am the person that I am today. But in saying that, what appears to be extraordinary to me now, in the future, hopefully will become ordinary. Which brings me to this video where I show you the hardest day of my physical and mental limitations and me increasing my workload by 1%. The goal with 1% improvements is to incrementally increase my workload so I can near the goals that I want to achieve. This video right now is pre-recorded and the footage that you will see is recorded tomorrow. If you watched my first video, 7 daily habits that changed my life, a lot of you at home will probably be sitting back thinking, how can you possibly improve on that? You're already doing so much. In this video, I'll not be introducing new habits, but rather increasing the force and time subjected to the habits that I've already built. So let's start with my first goal. My first goal is to wake up consistently every single day at 4 a.m. I am currently waking up every single day at 5 a.m., which is already such a struggle. I am 50 days in and it's not getting easier. It's one of the hardest things that I have to do throughout the day. Just simply waking up. I've had one God-sent day where I've woken up at 5 a.m. and thought, let's go, I'm ready for the day. Every other morning, I just really want to stay in bed because it's warm, it's soft, it's cozy, and I just don't feel like getting up. I have come to terms with the loss of comfortability, which brings me to the new stage of wanting to wake up at 4 a.m. Now, I'm not going to do this straight away because I didn't just start at waking up at 5 a.m. What I did was incrementally started setting the alarm clock back from 7 down to 6:30 down to 6 until eventually I got to 5 a.m. I'm going to implement the same method but even stricter by setting my alarm clock back by 10 minutes to wake up at 4:50 a.m. for 1 week straight, so eventually I can get to 4 a.m. And here's footage of future me waking up tomorrow at 4:50 a.m. Alright, so it's the night before. Well, it's 7 o'clock. It's actually 7:33 right now. What I've done is I've set my alarm clock 10 minutes back. So the alarm clock will show 5, but it will actually be 4:50 a.m. And the reason I've done this is because I've seen heaps of methods of people doing this and it actually tricks your brain into thinking that it's later. I won't be hitting snooze. I've stopped hitting snooze a long time ago. There are many downsides to hitting snooze. One of the downsides are that your brain goes back into REM sleep. So after you hit snooze and wake back up, your brain is sluggish for the next hour and a half. So as soon as that alarm goes off, I kick my legs over the bed and I'm ready to start the day. Right now is about the time that I get all digital devices out of my bedroom and start to prepare for my night routine. I'll see you at 4:50 a.m. in the morning. So it's currently 4:50. It doesn't get easier. Oh, it would be so easy just to... But the best way to do it is to just get up. So, obviously I've already gotten up to get my phone from the table. I don't even know what I'm saying. It's pretty hard to wake up at this time every single morning. I was doing my head in. Probably going to be one of the hardest days because I'm just throwing myself from challenge into challenge into challenge, but this is what I want my life to consist of. All right, we've got 11.2 Ks to run. I'm not sure what that was like because, as I said, this is pre-recorded, but I'm guessing it was pretty hard. And if it wasn't, good on me. I wanted to let you know tomorrow is actually the day that I've decided to go to a beach house with my friends and brothers. So I will be working in between being with my family and friends. Although it is very important to work on self-improvement, it is also important to focus on things that matter, such as your family and friends, and giving yourself that okay to be able to spend quality time with the people that you love. In saying that, it is going to make this challenge even harder because I am trying to do 1% improvements throughout the whole day. And of course, the temptations to eat like crap and drink alcohol and party and let loose will be there, but I have gained pretty strong willpower over the past year and a half where I'm confident enough to know that I can go to these types of events and focus on myself while spending quality time with my friends and family. I think a big part of my personality now is that I'm relaxed when I'm doing the things that make me feel good, such as writing, reading, running, and exercising. I don't see myself straying away from any of these activities, even though I'm going to be in a different environment. Tomorrow morning, I'm actually going to be waking up to do the longest run in this section of my marathon training. I'm fortunate enough to have a training plan for the next 24 weeks, which has pre-incrementally programmed the pace and length of my runs to improve by maybe more than 1%, by maybe 5% for every run. So my 1% effort for tomorrow with the run is simply just to show up. Alright, so I'm going to show you footage of future me going for the run and completing it.
5 a.m. right now, which is the time that I usually wake up. It usually takes me about 10 minutes to actually wake up and get out of that grogginess. As you can see, this morning I was just a bit of a mess. There we go. I feel much more awake now, kind of nervous for this run. I always go into these runs very nervous because I'm scared of injury or overdoing it or pulling a muscle. So it's very important that I start these runs with a long stretch and also start running very slow and then find my way into the run. I find is very important because I really do want to get to this marathon on July 3rd, and I want more than anything to pass that finish line. I'll see you guys on the run.
And we're off. Let's go. Woo! So 1.2 kilometers in, which is about 7 minutes roughly. Feeling good. Feeling a lot better than when I woke up. I really like these long runs because it gives me space to think. So halfway in, and I'm about to pick up the pace for 3 kilometers from 5 kilometers to 8 kilometers, and then back off from 8 to 11.2. Trying to see where I'm going right now. Feeling very strong, and I'm really loving this run so far. Good morning. We're almost nearing 8Ks, so I'll be slowing down the pace. Feeling really strong. Look at that. That's 7 miles done. 11.25 Ks done. I felt good, so at the end of the run, I just rewarded myself with a 200-meter sprint. I'm feeling fucking fitter than ever. After my runs and early morning exercises, which include maybe a weightlifting session, I've got into this ugly habit of driving to McDonald's and ordering an iced oat milk latte, sitting in the parking lot until the sun rises and just scoffing down that latte. I kind of have made the excuse to myself that it's a reward for waking up early and going to the gym, but as a 1% improvement, I want to kick this habit for a few reasons. The first reason being the oat milk iced latte is unnecessary calories, and compared to a black iced coffee, it's about 135 calories difference, where a black iced coffee is only 5 calories and an iced oat milk latte is around 140 calories. So that is one reason. The second reason is because your body actually does not need caffeine within the first 90 minutes of waking up. And the third reason being is because in the time where I'm sitting in the parking lot scoffing down that coffee, I can be at home journaling and meditating before going for a walk to catch the early morning sunrise, which I can then reward myself later with a black iced coffee. So my 1% improvement is swapping the habit of the iced oat milk latte and using my time to journal, which I already do journal 2 times a day, but I would like to get it done earlier throughout the day. So this next 1% improvement is probably going to be the hardest challenge throughout the whole day tomorrow and following on. This is my most unfavorable part of the day, but is also at the same time the most rewarding part of the day. Usually after I sun gaze, I come back home and I jump in the shower, and what I've been doing for the past week is just jumping straight in, turning on the cold water and standing underneath the cold water for 5 minutes, which is unbearable because after I step out of the shower for about 25 minutes after, I am shivering. I have been dreading the thought of doing an ice bath. The cold showers do wake me up, and it does give me a sense of accomplishment, and it does fire endorphins and dopamine through my brain first thing in the morning, which is great for productivity and creativity throughout the day. It also makes the tasks ahead of me throughout the day feel a lot more easier and relaxed because I don't think anything can get harder than standing under freezing water. So you probably guessed it, I'll be doing an ice bath tomorrow, which I would like to implement throughout my week at least once to 3 times throughout the week, especially one after a long run. I'm going to turn you over to future Beau and see how we went.
So right now I'm just targeting my legs and my feet, and the pain is so real. I'm gonna try and go 3 minutes if I can, but the pain through my feet is absolutely killing. So I'm gonna try and distract myself by letting you know what the cold water immersion for runners is and the science behind it. The overall theory behind cold therapy for runners is that it constricts blood vessels and decreases metabolic activity, which in turn reduces swelling and tissue breakdown and shifts lactic acid from the muscle. So what I'm feeling right now is the lactic acid probably moving away from the muscle. This is so painful. So when your body is exposed to the cold, it responds by constricting your blood vessels, which is what I'm feeling right now. It's a process called vasoconstriction. So all your blood gets pushed towards your organs, allowing blood to acquire more oxygen. All right, we're at 2 minutes right now. No. So the memory in my phone was full, so I had to go through my camera roll and delete videos, so it was perfect timing. So I'm way past 3 minutes now, and really it's just a fight against my mind and just pushing through. It's not cold, it feels like it's burning, like I'm on fire almost, but I know this is good for my muscles, so I've just stopped complaining at this point and I'm just dealing with the uncomfortability. I know that once I get out of this ice bath, every other task throughout the day will feel a lot easier, because I don't think anything can possibly get harder than this. What I think about in times like this are people who go through very hard training, such as people in the SAS. So they go through something called Hell Week, and that's laying on a beach getting crushed by waves for 5 days straight, no break in between. And I think about the mental endurance that they would have to suffer. And then I put myself in that position, and being in an ice bath seems a lot more tolerable than that. So this isn't the absolute worst thing in the world. It is pretty hard, but it's not the hardest. All right, I think that's it. To sum that up, the first 2 minutes were excruciating. But after the 2 minutes, once I start to get used to the uncomfortability, I start to understand how much power my mind has over the matter. It gets a lot easier. So this is something that I would like to include 1 to 3 times per week, definitely 1 after my long runs every single week, because already I feel my muscle stiffness from my calves loosening up, which is great. And I think doing small things like this will get me to the finish line of the marathon.
I can already tell that was probably one of the hardest things that we've had to do in this video. And it's probably going to be one of the hardest things that I have to do following on after this week. But as you can probably see after watching that video, my muscles probably really needed it, especially after a long run. I know that this can only benefit my muscles, which is why I would like to include it throughout my week. I have a very ambitious goal of reaching 100,000 monthly average readers on my blog channel, and my blog channel is a place where I pretty much reiterate everything that I'm saying in this YouTube video, and also show a little bit of research that I do before making these videos, while also reflecting on my daily activities and learnings. Also, little self-promo, there is a link down below if you would like to subscribe to my email listings to get blogs sent to you every single day. The only way that I'm going to achieve a large number of readers and impact people's lives is by writing good content, and the only way to write quality content is through quantity, as I believe that the practice through writing every single day will make my work a lot better. My 1% effort will be to increase my workload from 3 blogs per week to 1 blog per day. The way that I'll be improving this is by setting down times throughout the day where I just sit down and write. And a lot like with my reading, the 1% improvement will consist of a method called the Pomodoro method. And this method is where you sit down and you do 25 minutes of work with a 10-minute break in between, where you go and do something such as walking or something completely unrelated to the topic that you're studying. Which brings me to the next 1% improvement that I want to make. At the moment, I am currently reading approximately around 2 books per month. I also want to use the Pomodoro method to increase that average to 5 books per month, and to leave that stagnancy of 2 books behind me. The reason that I only read 2 books per month is that I get pretty bored, and especially with the high in-depth books that I'm reading, such as Jordan B. Peterson, The 12 Rules of Life, it is very intricate and detailed, and sometimes I have to read the page 2 or 3 times with a dictionary just to understand what is trying to be shared across. So the best way to limit my boredness and from me just simply giving up is to use the Pomodoro method, to give myself the opportunity just to refresh my brain and get back to the pages so I can read from 20 pages to 50 pages per day. And one of the last 1% improvements that I would like to make throughout my day, that I would like to continue every single day, is replying to more of my supporters. At the current moment, I'm replying to on average about 30 supporters per day. I would like to increase this average by limiting the time that I sometimes take naps, and instead of napping, go for a second exercise, because I find that doing a second exercise throughout the day refreshes my mind, gives me more energy, and allows me to focus more creatively and productively on tasks that I want to achieve. I'll be increasing the average from 30 fans to 50 fans a day, and using a selected amount of time to go on social media and reply to the people that support my work, especially the ones that are reaching out to me and supporting me and can relate to the topics that I'm talking about. In saying that, I want to thank you so much for supporting me and clicking on this video. I really do hope that my videos make some impact, and if they do, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a video. I'm releasing a video every single week to do my best to motivate you to add just a little bit more discipline into your life. And remember that there's always room for improvement, even if you think that you have everything down pat. Improvement is infinite, and if you think that it's not, you are stagnant and you are not growing. There is so much of the world to learn about, and there is so much that you can offer the world and that the world can offer you. So keep learning and keep striving to be the best possible person that you can be. In the depths of despair, always remember to look up.